Mike McCarthy is out in Dallas as he and the Cowboys are parting ways after 5 seasons. My name is Harrison Graham. Welcome into Four Verts. We're going to talk about McCarthy's exit, talk about the future for him, and also what's next for Dallas. Who are some coaching candidates Jerry Jones is going to take a look at? There's a few that come to mind immediately from my standpoint. So we'll dive into all of it here on today's show. My instant reaction, though, is this. I actually think this is just as much about McCarthy wanting to pursue other opportunities than Dallas moving on. If Dallas truly was like, it's time, we don't want to bring McCarthy back, he would have been fired within a day or two of the season ending. Or not fired, but let his contract expire because his contract was set to expire tomorrow. Instead, Jerry Jones kind of sat on his hands and knees and kind of just played this thing out. I think he probably wanted to bring back McCarthy on a lower or a shorter term deal that was more in the Cowboys' favor. Don't pay him huge money. Hey, we'll give you and your staff a 2-year deal when standard is 4 or 5. And I think Mike probably looked at this and said, you know what? This is rare for a head coach that has some value in the league to hit free agency, if you will. I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to explore my opportunities. And if Dallas is still open to bringing me back and negotiate with me at that point, cool. If not, so be it. And clearly Dallas is not. They're going to pursue other options here, which I think is the right way to go from Dallas' standpoint, just in the sense of I don't think you let him flirt with other teams and then you bring him back. I think it's you either work something out or you let him go. And they're just going to let him go here. But I do think they probably would have liked to bring him back. But I think this is him flexing his muscle a little bit and saying, you know what? You made me coach as a lame duck coach this year, finish out my contract. I'm not coming to terms on a new deal without seeing what other teams or interest level in me is, and I think that's what he did. I really, really do. So he's going to hit the open market. Teams are already interested. We'll tell you who those teams are in a minute. We will start with Dallas' side of things first, but this is why you subscribe, man. When news drops, we got you covered. We were going to do head coach predictions today, but with Dallas opening up now, we'll push that to tomorrow or the next day, as that's still a video we want to hit, so stay tuned. We will have a video tonight as well after Rams versus Vikings takes place. Recap that, look ahead to the divisional round. So stay tuned for all of that. Subscribe to the channel. College football, NFL coverage every single day. We're NFL heavy right now, but with the national championship just around the corner, we will have you guys covered for that as well. Okay, what's next for Dallas? What are the next steps for the Dallas Cowboys in terms of who their next head coach is going to be? I think a few names instantly come to mind knowing Jerry Jones and how he operates. Number one, Kellen Moore. He loves Kellen Moore. He let McCarthy get rid of him 2 years ago, and last year Dak had a career year under Mike. So I think Jerry was pretty happy. But this year it wasn't looking as good with Dak. Then he gets hurt, yada, yada. They've obviously split with Mike now. I think he will definitely be interested in bringing Kellen Moore back to be a head coach. Kellen Moore has built a lot of calluses at this point. He's coached a lot of different quarterbacks. He's gained other experiences going with the Chargers, kind of enduring a tough season, but working with Justin Herbert. This year he's been the play caller for Jalen Hurts, a different style of quarterback, a run-first guy, and they're in the divisional round of the playoffs, won 14 games. Has led the NFL's best rushing attack this year. I think he will be very interested in bringing him back. Another name I think he'll be interested in, also in the division, is Kliff Kingsbury. Texas guy, coach at Texas Tech, obviously a former head coach with the Cardinals, has kind of reinvigorated himself and has done a good job, a great job this season with Jaden Daniels. The Commanders have won a playoff game, and Kliff has been a part of that. I think those are two names you are going to hear a lot early on in this search. Some other just to ponder names. I think from Ben Johnson's standpoint, he would be interested in coaching Dak Prescott because I think stylistically, him and Jared Goff are pretty similar. At this point, Prescott's just a pocket quarterback. He doesn't move that much, so they have some similar traits with the way they play. I think he would have interest in that part of it. Would he be interested in the Jerry Jones circus? The lack of a true GM. Because that's technically Jerry Jones' title, owner and GM. I'm not sure Ben would sign up for that, but I think working with Dak and CeeDee Lamb and some of the talent on this roster, he would have some appeal in. Their offensive line is solid. It's not as good as it used to be. I think he would like that, but I think he would have to feel out the structure of the front office, which really is just the Jerry Jones show. So I'm not sure if he would sign up for that. Other guys, I don't know if Jerry would be interested, but Brian Flores, I think if he gets another head coaching job, coaching an established quarterback makes the most sense for him. Dak Prescott's established. Is he elite? No, but he's very good and he's established. You know what you're getting with Dak. He could take a talented defense. I mean, think about Brian Flores with Micah Parsons. I mean, that is an interesting proposition to me. You'd have to get the offensive coordinator right, but maybe he brings Josh McCown down from Minnesota with him. Again, I don't think Jerry would necessarily go that route, but that would be what I'm interested in. Would he try to poach Mike Tomlin from Pittsburgh if they decided to move on, which it doesn't sound like they're going to, or if they're willing to trade him? Would Jerry go that route? That would be interesting. There was a report that Bill Belichick would have been interested in this job, but on the back channeling he did before taking the UNC job, North Carolina, he didn't get that same vibe back. Could Jerry try to get Bill to leave North Carolina before he even coaches? He's got a $10 million buyout. Turns to just $1 million in June. We'll see. I do think the two names, though, you're going to hear a lot are Kliff and Kellen. Kliff for the Texas connections, NFC East having success. Kellen because he was with the organization for a long time. Him and Dak have an established relationship. Jerry really likes him. I think those are two names you will hear a lot for the Dallas Cowboys. One more I'll just throw out there, wild card. I don't think they'll do it. Deion Sanders. I don't think he's jumping to the NFL unless he can coach Shador. The Cowboys aren't getting Shador. So, could they get Travis Hunter theoretically by trading up? Maybe, but I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, let's talk about McCarthy now. Like I said, I think he's flexing his muscle a bit. I think he feels confident in his ability to land another head coaching job. We already know two teams for sure want to interview him. The Chicago Bears, who put in a request that Dallas initially declined, but now with him freed up, I would expect them to interview him within the next 48 to 72 hours. And the New Orleans Saints, they want to interview him as well. I would expect the Jets to jump in there also. I mean, they interviewed fucking Mike Locksley, for crying out loud. I think Mike McCarthy would be someone they would and should be interested in. Out of all the candidates they've interviewed, you could argue McCarthy would be their best option, who's currently available on the open market. So keep an eye on him. Now, obviously, Aaron Rodgers is there. Would that situation work? But I think Rodgers is probably gone anyway, so I don't think that plays a big role. But I'll tell you this. I really do think that if the Bears miss out on Ben Johnson, who's highly coveted, if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, watch out for Mike McCarthy in Chicago. Because at this point in his career, what does Mike McCarthy want? He wants a chance to win, obviously, but he wants to work with the talented quarterback. Well, let's just compare the Bears and the Saints. Let's say those are the two that are interested. The Saints have Derek Carr, whose contract after this upcoming year, they can get out of it. He's flatlined as a player. That's not really a situation you can walk into, have success right away. Chicago, though, talented Caleb Williams. You could develop him. You have DJ Moore and Rome Odunze on offense. You've got some talent on defense if you bring in the right defensive coordinator. And you have over $80 million in cap space. The Saints have negative $58 million in cap space. And you're picking 10th in every round of the NFL draft. And you have the Carolina Panthers second-round pick. I think McCarthy would be appealed by the Bears. Oh, and by the way, the Packers dumped his ass. I think the opportunity to go up against Green Bay would be appealing to him. And look, I know Bears fans are going to be like, screw McCarthy, he stinks. We got to live in somewhat of reality here. Mike McCarthy is a good head coach. Is he elite? No. Is he a guy that is likely winning a Super Bowl again? No. But if you can't get Ben Johnson, who, by the way, I really like, and I think he is the top candidate in this cycle, but he is a first-time head coach, so it's not like it's a guarantee it would work out. After him, who is elite that's out there? Who? I mean, you're talking, the guys who are going to be in the mix, if you don't get Ben Johnson, are guys like Mike McCarthy, Pete Carroll, who is 73 years old. McCarthy's 61, 62, and he's an offensive guy. I'd rather have McCarthy. Brian Flores, A lot of question marks there with the way it went down in Miami. Can he connect with Caleb Williams? Kliff Kingsbury. I like Kliff. He'd be in the mix for me, but McCarthy's more proven as a head coach. Like, we can't just act like McCarthy sucks. I'm not even saying for sure he'd be my top guy after Ben Johnson, but he'd be in the mix. Like, from a Bears standpoint, that's pretty interesting to me. If you're the Saints, McCarthy's a home run. If you're the Jets, McCarthy would be a hell of a hire. Like, I feel like there's this narrative on McCarthy that he can't coach. He's been to the playoffs 12 times. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won 11 playoff games. He just won 12 games 3 years in a row with the Cowboys. This year they bottomed out because Dak got hurt and Jerry refused to spend any money in the offseason. Like, he's a good coach. Out of the 32 head coaches in the NFL, he's top half. No question about it. Is he top 8, top 6? No. But is he the 12th, 13th best head coach in the NFL? I would say so. I'd have to rank all 32, but I feel pretty confident he would come in the top half and not the bottom half. And these teams that are looking for a head coach, you could do a lot worse than Mike McCarthy. So it'll be very interesting to see how it all plays out. From Dallas' standpoint, predict it down below. Who will be the next Cowboys head coach? Go ahead and predict it for us down in the comment section. My name is Harrison Graham. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Verts. We will see you guys very soon.